This is the story of how I created a genuinely viral hit song on TikTok and Instagram Reels. If you've seen videos like this before and think, oh, this is probably clickbait, his song probably got used in a couple thousand videos, well, let me run you through the numbers. As of making this video, my song Bring Me Back with Claire Ridgely has been used in 2.3 million TikTok videos and almost 1 million Instagram Reels, totaling well over 1 billion views. To put things into perspective, those are comparable, if not better numbers, to major label artists like Ariana Grande, Drake, Billie Eilish, and more. So how did this happen and what did I gain from the experience? Well, watch till the end because the result might not be what you think. To start, we have to rewind time, or should I say, bring me back, all the way to the spring of 2020. The world was a different place back then. COVID lockdowns were still something that people thought would just be over in a few weeks. Tiger King was the biggest show on the planet, and the world was convinced that Iran and the US would start World War III. Come to think of it, this was an absolutely wild start to a year. But amongst all the chaos, I was living a quiet life up in quaint old New Westminster, Canada, a suburb just outside of Vancouver, producing electronic music under the name Miles Away. I had already achieved some minor success with my music, mostly through remixes of popular songs and my debut EP on Trap Nation, but nothing had really clicked for me in my career so far in a real way. Now, I don't know if it was because 2020 was a particularly hard year for everybody, including me, but after months of making demos that I hated that just went straight to the trash bin, I kept coming back to one idea for a song. A song about missing the past. A song where every single element in it was going to be specifically crafted to evoke nostalgia to a simpler time. A time before all the problems of being an adult, before being stuck in a job I hated to pay the rent, a time before all the problems that were going on in the world around me. So I channeled all of my most special memories from my childhood, and I created what would later go on to become this viral song, Bring Me Back. I originally wrote Bring Me Back on piano, but found it sounded too romantic and not nostalgic enough. So I made the decision to swap out most of the piano in the song for guitar. The reason for this is that guitar was the first instrument I learned as a kid growing up, and specifically the acoustic guitar I used on Bring Me Back was my first guitar ever that I got at the age of 12. It's completely beat up and barely stays in tune, but that actually added to the charm of the sound. Everything in the song, including the guitars and the pianos, were run through loads of different tape degradation and tape saturation plugins to make it all sound really old, like everything was recorded on a VHS tape from the 90s that was left out too long in the sun. As soon as I finished writing the song, I knew right away this was the sound I'd been looking for. So I reached out to my friend and peer Sabai, and he was able to refer me to vocalist Claire Ridgely, who instantly saw my vision for the track. I walked her through that I really wanted this song to be the most nostalgic gut punch possible, and she created the top line that would later go on to become Bring Me Back. Now, often when working with vocalists, the first demo usually needs a lot of work. You might not even keep it, but with Claire, the first demo, we knew right away it was the one.
I've always been afraid my best years have passed. They say the good old days, well, they never last.
So armed with the new vocals and even more inspiration, I went back into the studio to finish the song, religiously sticking to the idea that I had set out of making sure every single part of the song worked cohesively to tell this story about missing the past and being stuck, lost in nostalgia. Once the song was written, the emotion was there, and the vocals were in place, the drop came together really naturally. It's really just the same chord progression, but with more distortion, more synthesizers, and most importantly, I've chopped up Claire's vocals to re-emphasize the wistfulness and nostalgia of the song. Every single part of the song worked cohesively to tell this story about missing the past and being stuck, lost in nostalgia. Anyways, now on to how it went viral. Well, in November of 2020, I released Bring Me Back independently because in the time in between, I'd parted ways with my label Trap Nation because they did not believe in the song, they didn't want to sign it, and I really believed I had something special. So my manager and I created a release plan. I spent most of my savings promoting the song, running remix contests. He used all of his connections to get us some great YouTube uploads and Spotify playlist placements, and we released it without a label. Almost overnight, Bring Me Back became my most successful song, and I was so proud of the work that we'd done to get it there. But the song still didn't go viral. After about 6 months of growth, the song tapered off, like most songs do, and I thought that was that. I moved on, forgot about Bring Me Back, and continued on with my life. Fast forward to the summer of 2023. There was a new form of content taking the world by storm, which you know what I'm talking about, short form videos with pitched up versions of songs behind them. Whether or not you wanted to watch these videos, they were absolutely everywhere. So my manager and I thought it could be a fun experiment to try to release a pitched up, sped up version of Bring Me Back, my most popular song, for TikTok and Instagram. So I dragged the song into my computer, sped it up, and we released it officially. I don't think either my manager or I really expected anything to come from this. We just did it kind of as a fun experiment. Months went by with nothing. Then, out of nowhere, the sped up version of the song started to get massive spikes in views almost overnight, and strange new comments, oftentimes ones not in English. I had no idea what was happening. No one had tagged me, no one had mentioned anything, so using my detective skills, I decided to get to the bottom of this and figure out what was happening. Okay, so this next part is a little bit confusing, so bear with me as I explain. A producer named Enox Mantano had made a bootlegged remix of my song using the sped up vocal that I was unaware of its existence. That sped up remix was used in this TikToker's nostalgic gaming video. Unfortunately, this TikToker who uploaded it failed to credit me, which is why I had no idea that my song was going viral until a month after it had started.
You serious?
From there, the song spread like wildfire and was used by millions on TikTok, with people specifically looking up lyrics to find it on other platforms. This led them to finding my original song, and more importantly, the sped up version on Spotify, which sounded the closest to the TikTok sound that had originally gone viral. Scrolling through some of the videos that use the sound, it's unclear if there's any specific trend, but let me know in the comments if you see anything or see any pattern of what people tend to use it for. At the same time as this bootlegged version was exploding on TikTok, the sped up version caught fire on Instagram and became a trending Instagram Reels song almost overnight. Some of the Reels that used the song were absolutely massive, which likely led to a cascade of people who saw those videos, liked the song, and wanted to use it in their own videos to get more views since it was trending. For example, this absolute gem of a video, which has over 36 million views, has more views than the actual song itself. The internet is truly a fascinating place. The song was a massive global phenomenon, unlike anything I'd ever seen in my life, and frankly probably will never see again. So what did I do? Well, immediately my manager reached out to Enox Mantano to have him make his remix official, and then we reached out to TikTok and Instagram to get them to properly credit me for the song. Because remember, up to this point, even though the song was viral, no one knew that I had made the song. So thanks for that, TikTok, really appreciate it. Well, the question I am sure many of you have been wanting to know since the start. What kind of money did this make? Well, dear viewer, I am sorry to say that if you were expecting me to pull out a briefcase full of cash or zoom cut to a shot of me next to my new Lamborghini, that is not going to be the case. As of today, I've made absolutely $0 from TikTok or Instagram from my song going viral. TikTok supposedly does pay, but royalty collection is delayed by about 3 to 6 months. But unfortunately, Instagram/Meta pays absolutely nothing to artists for having their songs used in people's videos, which I personally think is not fair. My Spotify listeners did pretty much double overnight, which is incredible, but you have to remember that once that revenue is split between myself, my manager, Claire, her co-writer Mike, and the remixers, that money goes away pretty quickly. So what's next for me after this? Well, I've had a lot of time to reflect while making this video, and while my song going viral didn't change my life financially, it certainly changed my outlook on life. Some of the comments and notes that I've read are truly moving, and it's really special to know that my song has made such an impact on so many people. Although I'm done making EDM, for now at least, I've really found a way to marry the authentic, nostalgic sound I discovered with Bring Me Back with the new music that I'm working on in my new direction, and I cannot wait to show you guys. I cannot wait to take you on this journey with me. So be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Join me on this journey. Check out my EP from this summer if you're just discovering my music now. I've linked it right above, and I will see you in the next video and the next song. Take care for now.